Next, we'll look into the micro stresses that are causing big problems, and you college grads, how to find a job. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it all starts right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. It is all about your purpose, your why in your work. Now, you are multidimensional, but we're talking about purposeful work. We're talking about meaningful work. We're talking about significance, which is far greater than success. Significance, when achieved, has all kinds of success attached to it. And so we believe very simply here on the Ken Coleman Show that you were created to fill a role, an actual role. Now, not a job, but a role. You play a part in this world through your work. So if that's true, and we know that it is, then that means you are very much needed. And it means you must do it. You got to figure out what the role is, how to get in that role, where are all the places you can fill that role, and see the results of that role, which matter deeply to you. And so that's what we do. There are 7 stages on this journey. Stage 1 is get clear. Stage 2 is get qualified. Stage 3 is get connected. Stage 4 is get started. Stage 5 is get promoted. Stage 6 is get your dream job. And stage 7 is give yourself away. You realize that your work, you're in your sweet spot. People look at you and marvel. They say, you were born for this. And you go, I know. And you're giving yourself away. This is the journey. So what stage are you in? We're here to help you identify that, how to get through that stage to the next stage, and keep on moving. 844-747-2577. That's the number. We're live. Right now, if you're watching live on YouTube, it's live. And so you can call in right now. We got a few phone lines open still. Madison, the associate producer, is standing by, ready to take your call. Are you scared? Don't be. I'm going to take good care of you. You're not a prop. You're a person with a purpose. And you have the answers. I promise. It's my job to help find those answers, dig those out of you. So we'll get to your calls momentarily. 844-747-2577. You can also submit your question via the chat right next to the video window as you're watching. And if you're enjoying the program, right below the video window, right down there, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the program, and share it to somebody that you feel it will inspire and equip. 844-747-2577 is the number. Micro stresses. Joe, I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard the term micro stresses until you slapped this article on my desk from Harvard Business Review, and I think this is actually really informative. Now, there's a lot of information that I've got to cover in a short amount of time, okay? And that's why I tell you, I cite the article, the source, because you can look this up. Just look up micro stresses, Harvard Business Review, if you want to dive into this. And this is one of the articles where I'd say I would do a review after I just go through this. A lot to cover. Okay, let's start with micro stresses. By some estimates, 60 to 80% of all doctor visits are related to stress. And so unrelieved stress, we know, in the workplace is going to lead to exhaustion, detachment, and poor performance. So Harvard Business Review has identified 12 common relational drivers of stress. Now, before I list these out, did you catch that key operating word there? Relational. These are people factors. And folks, that's where most of the stress comes from, is the personal interaction. Okay, so here we go. Going to run through these quickly and then give you some hope on the other side of this. Okay, number 1, misalignment of roles or priorities. But leaders, this is on you. And worker, this is on you to get with your leader, make sure you're clear. Number 2, when other people don't deliver, you're relying on them and they don't do their job. Number 3, unpredictable behavior from a person in authority. Leaders, people leave leaders, not companies. Number 4, poor communication. 5, surge in responsibilities at work or home. So this is where, again, you become overwhelmed. Number 6, managing others and feeling responsibility for their success. Oh, this is good old-fashioned pressure. Number 7, confrontational conversations. Number 8, mistrust. Number 9, people who spread stress. They create stress for themselves and others. Number 10, pressure to pursue goals that don't align with your values. Number 11, when someone undermines your sense of self or sense of control. And number 12, disruptions to your relational network, so your connections. So that's the quick list. And there are 3 approaches that they cite in the article that will help you with these stressors. Number 1, isolate and act on 2 to 3 of these. So as you go through this list and you begin to identify this list, focus on 2 or 3. Let's relieve those. So this is some early momentum. Really good advice. Number 2, invest in relationships and activities that keep these less consequential micro stresses in perspective. So that's a lot of fancy words. What that means is focus on relationships and activities that really minimize these stresses. They're just so much more valuable to your life that you go, oh, these are like a fly. You know, when I go to a picnic, or I was at the beach recently, and every once in a while you got the fly or the bug bothering you. But it doesn't matter because I'm laying in a beach chair, listening to the waves and soaking up the rays. So my situation that I'm in, I'm putting myself in a situation that the minor nuisances are just that. They really don't stress me out. And third, distance or disconnect from stress-related or stress-creating, rather, people or activities. So here's the idea. If you see all these stressors coming your way and you feel it, you go, wait a second, who's causing this stress for me? Or am I putting myself in a situation where I'm stressed? Here's what we do. I'm out. I'm done hanging out with you. You bring me down. I'm out. Those 2 words will free a lot of you up from these micro stressors we're talking about. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Coming up a little bit later in the program, got an article at kencoleman.com. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Specifically, you college grads, you're looking for a job, and the whole job landscape has been flipped upside down because of coronavirus. So I'm going to give you some very helpful things that will help you. But first, to the phones we go. We're going to start off with Megan, who is joining us in Houston, Texas. Megan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi.
Hi, Megan.
How are you?
I am living the dream. What's going on with you?
Well, I was wondering, because my brother needs a new job eventually, but he needs a desk job, and I'm disabled, so there's only so much I can do. I was wondering if you had any ideas for what my brother could possibly do.
Well, I wish your brother was on the line, but you're a really awesome sister. Let's start with that. I think you're amazing. The way to help your brother is to help him get clear. It's what I do every day on the program. So what I'm going to suggest is that you say, hey, brother, will you come over to my house or my apartment and let's watch just one show maybe, and have him listen to a couple podcasts, but have him sit there and watch one of these shows and have him watch me go through this with other people. Okay, so I'd start there. Second thing is let's walk him through the Career Clarity Guide, which is free at kencoleman.com. Have you downloaded that?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, that's great. That's why you called. I'm here for you. So it's free. It's called the Career Clarity Guide, and it's on the resources page of my website. I want you to download that when this phone call is over, and I want you to get him to take it, talk it through with you, and watch one of these shows. Maybe jump on, listen to a few podcasts. You can listen to that for free. We take every show, and it's out every day on podcast form. So let's start with that. And then if you can just help him do that, that's all you need to do. Your physical disability, it's not on you to get him a job. It's on brother to get a job. And I think that all that you need to worry about doing is helping him get clear and encouraging him. That's all you need to do. It's up to him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you are an awesome sister. So go to kencoleman.com, get the Career Clarity Guide, and get brother to listen or watch the show. And even better yet, have him call me. It's a toll-free number, 844-747-2577. You know, folks, listen, it bears repeating that even though this is a national show, these are real people that are calling. This isn't a reality show that's all scripted. I'd never talked to Megan in my life. She just called. You're watching right now. You're a phone call away. That's why I do the show. So if you've got a friend or family member that you want to encourage, have them listen long enough till they go, oh, this guy's not going to make fun of me. This guy's not going to yell at me. This dude's going to dive into my life and he's going to help me. Folks, that's why we do the show. So you're a phone call away. All right. And here, one thing that Joe reminds me a lot is that if you are worried about somebody in your work hearing this, which is legit, we can change your name and your location. So for some of you who just need a break from your everyday life, what's the name you wish you were named, and where would you like to live? Call in from there, and nobody's going to know. All right? There we go. 844-747-2577. Back to the phones we go. Misty's up next in Detroit, Michigan. Misty, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. I'm excited to speak to you.
Well, Misty, I'm excited to talk to you. What are we talking about today?
I'm pretty much trying to decide on where to focus my energy. Really briefly, I love fitness. I love it. But I also love all things international. So I went and got a master's degree in international relations. But at the same time, now I'm working to get a certification to become a personal trainer. Halfway through my studies, I figured out, no, I don't like this as much as I thought that I did. I'm panicking. I'm at a job that is unfulfilling, where I'm micromanaged. I'm not using any of my skills and talents. And I don't know where to direct my energy. I'm using the proximity principle. I'm reaching out to different people that are in international relations, but I can barely make time for myself aside from the gym. So how do I prioritize and strategize? I feel like I'm stuck in discovery too.
Yeah. I think, what you've got right now is you've got some confusion. And so I want to go back into what you just told us, and we need to dive in here and let's unpack your heart. We need some clarity from your heart, because this fitness and then international relations and this back and forth, and you're in a fitness job now. Am I understanding this correctly?
No, I work in a warehouse.
Okay, well, hold on a second. So when you said, I went into study, and as I was studying, I realized I didn't want to do fitness. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, I don't feel the passion. Okay,
why? What changed about I want to be in fitness or a physical trainer for people, and now I don't? What changed?
I feel like maybe I pursued this listening to other people. And
so you actually got in it and was like, I like working out personally, but I have no desire to help other people work out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Do you understand? I want to make sure I know what changed it. Now, this sounds like it's the right type of change where you go, a bunch of people recommended this. I went in and I got into it, which is what I talk about on the show, clarifying and verifying. As I clarify what's involved in a job day to day, then it allows me to verify whether or not I want to do it. And that's what you're telling me happened. You went, oh, no, this ain't my jam.
No.
Okay. So what is the perfect gig? Give me the dream. Let's say I fast forwarded life 5 years from now, just like this. 5 years, boom, we're in the future. You're super successful in international relations. What does that look like day to day? Tell me.
It's something where I have a chance to learn or interact with people in a foreign language. There would be a clear upward trajectory. I would be traveling up to 60-70%, ability to work remotely, something that positively impacts people.
Okay, stop. Pause. Pause. All right, this is great. I'm interrupting you on purpose because I want you to go deeper. You need to go about 3 levels deeper. It's not deep enough right now. I get that you love the idea of traveling all around the world and working in your apartment in your house. Who doesn't like that idea? All right, that's fun. All right, you do have a passion for language. Sounds like foreign language, and so the question is, you need to go deeper, and this is what we ask in the Get Clear stage. And when we talk about talent, passion, mission, I think the only thing you need right now is figure out the mission. And here are the questions you need to answer. Let's take a stab at it right now, and I want your heart to answer. All right, because you've already done a good job of painting kind of the environment you want to be in. But who do you most want to help? Who are the people? What is the challenge or problem that they have, or a desire or want that they have? And then what is the solution or solutions to that desire or problem that you get fired up about? Take me there.
Well, I want to help everyone, but I'm thinking now when I lived abroad and it was so difficult to be there without connecting with anyone. So maybe people that are coming here and trying to get
so let's
acclimated.
All right, so let's just fill this in. Now, here's what's fun about this. Okay, Misty, don't get all hung up on this being in stone. We're not writing in concrete. This isn't wet concrete that we're going to go, oh my gosh, we got to get it perfect. All right? So let's just say you want to help immigrants. Right?
Okay.
Is that right? You want to help immigrants that are coming to the United States and they don't know many people. They don't have a lay of the land. They're just coming to this new, big, vast country. Is that correct?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. And so their challenges are the challenges that they're facing or the desire. So we're looking at they either have a problem or a want, a desire. Okay? Which way do you want to go there? What comes to mind? You go, okay, the problem or the desire they have the most that I want to assist with is, give me an answer.
Mental health.
Oh, interesting. Mental health. Okay, great. And so the result, the solution to that is what? That you want to be a part of. Is it counseling, mental health counseling? Is it giving them resources to get the counseling? Is it more informative or is it more therapeutic, your role?
Wow. Maybe more
Don't
maybe
overthink
finding
this.
resources or reaching out to them, because when I was abroad, I was lonely and it caused me to have anxiety.
Are you a connector by nature?
I think so. I don't know.
No, you do. Don't overthink this stuff. Do you enjoy connecting with people? When you meet a stranger, is that something you look forward to or does it sap your energy?
A bit of both, honestly. I'm an omnivert and I'm an empath. So,
oh my,
it's complex.
Well, I just think you think too hard about stuff. The point is you get the juice when you help people, correct?
Yes.
And you give them information and point them in the right direction. That's the juice for you. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, so here's my point. I'm trying to help you see the difference between you're not going to counsel these immigrants on their mental health challenges. You're going to help them gather resources and point them to places where they can get that help. They're coming to this country for the first time. They don't know where to go and how to do it and what to do, correct?
Yes.
So you've got to envision this here. This is the exercise, which, by the way, it's why I said earlier, you're not writing this in concrete. Okay? You're just working through this exercise. The questions you answered for me were, who do I most want to help? Who are those people? Get a vision for them, a very specific vision. What's the problem they have or the desire they have that you go, oh, I'm about that. And then the third question is, what are the solutions to that problem or to that desire that you get excited about offering? And so that's where they all come together. Make sense?
Yes.
That's where you've got to stay. Now, we've got some answers right now. This is a first draft, okay? So you can keep working through this exercise after we get off the phone together. But I want you to at least play this one out and go, okay, where do I do that in the United States? Where are those jobs? So now that we know what you want to do, we're looking for the jobs in the marketplace. The marketplace matches where you can do that work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the question becomes, and then how do we then work in I want to travel a lot? So you got to figure that part out as well. So I think what this is going to do is you want to be involved with people that are immigrants or you want to be on a foreign mission. You got to figure that part out, but that part will come to you. What you have to stay very clear on is, who do I most want to help? What's the problem or the desire that they have? And then what's the solution or what are the solutions? By the way, there's usually multiple solutions that you can get excited about. Now, there's one thing I want to touch on here before we move on. We're going to get to the chat room in just about 30 seconds. As I've been doing this show now for 3 years, I have changed that question, that second question, which is, number one is, who are the people I want to help the most? Because everybody calls and says, Ken, I want to help people. And I go, welcome to the human race. That's why we talk about work that matters. We all long to make a difference in this world. So it's not enough to go, I want to help people. Great. Who do you want to help? So that second question is, I used to say, what's the problem that you want to solve that they have? But I've changed it to add in, what's the desire they have? Here's where I'm going with this, folks. That'll help you folks. Some of you are going to be more focused on solving problems. Others of you are going to be focused on giving people what they want. Let me explain. Dave Ramsey loves to make fun of me for how many pairs of shoes I have. I'm a shoe guy. I love shoes. I am unapologetically a shoe guy. I love shoes. So there are people out there who are focused on designing shoes and selling shoes that people like me want. Is that a problem I have? I don't have a problem in that I don't have any shoes. If I have a problem, it's I have too many shoes. But I digress. The point is that if you want to go into design or build houses for people, you're not solving a problem per se, but you are providing a solution to their desire. So I have added in that second part. What's the problem that these folks have that you want to help? Or what's the desire that they have? If you want to sell them makeup, great. You want to do cut their hair or do makeovers or whatever. Well, that's a desire that people have to look pretty or to look good or feel confident. So understand that once you get into this, well, what's the problem? Because those first two questions are for you to get clear on what makes your heart come alive. And when you figure that out, you go, oh, yeah. So the answer to those questions is essentially the same. The people I want to help and the problem I want to solve, or the desire that I want to help fulfill, that all ties into this is the people group. And then we go, oh, okay. So what are all the different solutions? And that's where we line it back up with what we do best, our talent, which are tools to do the work that creates that result in mission. Talent, passion, mission. Remember, talent is what I do best. Passion is the work I love to do most. And mission is the results of my work that matter deeply to me. So there you go. For those of you that are new, that's the construct. And that's what we walk you through. That's where you get clarity. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to the chat room real quick. Isabella types in, what are the factors that make a good leader and create good relationships within the workplace? Well, I could answer this question for an hour. I'll give you the short version on the factors that make a good leader. Number one, the leader needs to be aware. I think that the greatest leaders are self-aware leaders. They know what they do well and what they don't do well, and they stay over in the area of just, this is what I love to do. They're in their leadership sweet spot. They use what they do best to do the work they love, to create results that matter deeply to them. And outside of that, they trust everybody else to do the other stuff. So they delegate, they hire for their weaknesses. So that's the first thing. So that's awareness. The second thing is a servant-hearted leader. A leader who knows that she or he, they aren't the reason why everybody's here. It's about the shared mission. And so when we win, I win. That becomes the mentality of a great servant leader. They're there to serve the team, to serve the mission, to serve the customer. That makes a great leader, because they don't make it all about themselves. And then I would say the third factor is a leader who communicates well. And I don't mean just can say things in a way that is pleasing to hear. Oh, they speak well. No. Communication has nothing to do with speaking. Communication is a exchange. Yes, I speak, but I must listen, take information from listening, and then exchange more speaking. So communication, true communication is really a skill. And then the clear communicator is somebody who listens well and communicates based on the whole process I just described. So that's a quick answer. Let's go to another one here. Chris writes in, this is fascinating. Why do you think it's so difficult for people to go deep and get clarity on what they want to do? I love this. I've never had this question. Not on the show. And I'm going to boil it down to one thing. The reason that people find it so difficult to go deep and get clarity is it's uncomfortable. Now, for some people, it's not uncomfortable. It's not for me. I'm just going to be very honest. My personality is one that I'm very, very curious, and I'm driven by results, and I need to get to the bottom of things. I've always been that way. And I also don't have problem with the confrontational nature, and it doesn't mean an argument, but just the idea of confront. The root word of confrontation is confront. That means I'm going to confront some truth here. And so to dig deeply and to get clear on yourself is an act of confrontation with yourself. So I'm trying to give the simple answer because there's a lot there. There's fear, there's insecurity, all the stuff. But it all comes down to one thing. If I deal with my fear and I deal with my insecurity and I deal with confrontation, it's uncomfortable and I don't want to do that. So it really comes down to a lot of people and many millions and millions and millions of people, all of us on some level, have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I guess that's where I'm at now. So let me throw myself into the rest of the human race here. I'm not an exception. We just are uncomfortable facing what we will need to face to get clear. So Chris, that to me is the ultimate reason. And you've got to get to a point where you just go, this is going to suck. You know, it's like going to the dentist. I do not enjoy going to the dentist, but I got to go. I don't like when they scrape around my gums. It's always made me very uncomfortable. In fact, talking about it right now gave me the heebie-jeebies. Okay? But here's the deal. If I want to have a healthy mouth and healthy teeth, I got to go to the dentist. So what do? Every time my dentist appointment comes up, I'm in the car driving the dentist, and I promise you, I'm like, oh, geez, this is going to be uncomfortable. I don't like anything about this. I got to do it. So when I walk in, I have the maturity to go, this must be done. It's going to be uncomfortable. So what do? I just make up the decision. I'm going to embrace the discomfort and I'm going to get through it. And that's really what you got to do, folks. You got to go, there's nothing about this that's going to be really comfortable, but boy, oh boy, the benefit on the other side of this so outweighs the discomfort that I must do it. And so I would say this, either you embrace the discomfort of getting clear and figuring out what you were created to do, or you need to understand that if you don't embrace the discomfort, let me tell you what you are embracing. Disillusionment, discouragement. That's what you're embracing. So what do you want to embrace? Discomfort, knowing that it's just discomfort. That's it. Or do you want to be disillusioned your whole life? Discouraged your whole life? That's good right there. Somebody better write that down. Because that's what you're facing. And so just go, hey, I have to choose one of three. And I could keep going. I could come up with all these other D words and all the things. But that's really it. Which one do you want? You want discomfort? You want disillusionment? You want discouragement? You choose, but you're going to pick one, which is discomfort, or you're automatically defaulting to the other two. And by the way, they go together. They go together. I'm confused. I don't know. And I'm like a tumbleweed through life and letting the wind blow me wherever it blows. I don't have any purpose. I don't have any intentionality in my life. And that is a recipe for true discouragement, which would lead to depression. You show me a person that can't tell you or tell me why they're on this planet. They're either dealing with depression or they're headed that way. It's just that simple. There's something in us, we talk about it every day on this program, that longs for meaning. We want to know that we're making a difference. So, good stuff. All right, we got to get to the teaching, and we'll see if we can squeeze in another phone call. Okay, so this article, I'm going to touch on this very briefly because the good news is it's free. It's at kencoleman.com right now. It's in our article section, how to find a job after college. And here's the deal. We got a lot of kids that have graduated college and they thought that, well, this is going to be the path or this is what the environment's going to be, and it's changed. And so they're like, what do I do? Okay, so here we go. Number one, figure out what you want to do. We've been talking through that formula. That's what you're going to do. I really want you to consider internships in this time. And I know that internships are a little bit, not a little bit, probably a lot affected by Corona, right? So understand that you're going to have to be flexible on this. Make sure that you are using any on-campus resources that you have through the career centers. Also, job fairs, professors, peers, and alumni. I mean, you're becoming a detective as you begin to look for opportunities. And then make sure that you are creating a rhythm of connecting. Make sure your resume stands out. We've got the resume guide at kencoleman.com. And make sure that you're really prepared for the interview so you perform well. That's our How to Win the Interview guide. Now, all I did for the interest of time was hit the big headings. Everything I just touched on, we've got detailed content and action items in this article. It's entitled How to Find a Job After College. Okay, now, for some of you, if you're in that 13 to 19-year-old, even you recent college grads, our foundation self-study, this is an actual product. So read the article for free, and for $29.99, you can get the Foundations in Career Readiness, how to land that first job in the real world, and then how to step into a career you love. Again, if you're in college right now, so you're early on, this is not the college grad that we've been talking to, but this is that 13 to 19-year-old group. This is a great product. I'm teaching it. It's easy to follow, easy to digest, and easy to act upon course. It's called Foundations in Career Readiness, kencoleman.com, and click on store, and it's there. It's only $29.99, so go check that out. All right, 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Will, who's up next in Tallahassee, Florida. Will, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, how you doing today?
Will, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I just had a question for you. So right now I'm actually going into my second year of college. I've switched my major, a couple different times. I was accounting and finance, but then it wasn't really giving me the finance emphasis. So I switched to full-time finance, and I was planning to get my master's. I'm a year ahead, so I can hopefully get my master's and my bachelor's within 4 to 4.5 years total. And I just wanted to know if I'm on the right track as far as what I want to do. Right now I work part-time as a leasing agent, and I absolutely love the sales. It's just so exciting, and I just want to know kind of if I'm going down the right track, what my possible career goals would be. I kind of want to go into wealth management, and I didn't know. I want to help people, so how can I kind of balance everything out?
Well, you're doing the right thing. Okay, we've got to get all this stuff out on paper and go. All right, what are the career paths that I'm interested in based on what I would love to do? What's interesting is that you found out that right now you enjoy the interaction with a customer from a sales position. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you're also interested in finances. You said you really wanted to get into wealth management. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what's driving the wealth management? Where's that coming from? What's the why behind that? As it stands right now, and you don't have to give me some romantic answer. I just want to know right now, young Will, second year in college, thinking about doing wealth management. Why? What's driving that interest?
I think a part of it is like I'm kind of like a product of my environment. So growing up, my mom was a small business owner, and my dad, they weren't really wise about their finances. When I was growing up and everything, and they could have been, they had definitely the needs. They just didn't execute a plan properly. And so I know that if someone would have stepped in and said, hey, here's a plan, we can execute this and you can, build wealth for your family, change your family tree. I know that it would have been a lot different. And I want to be that person that'll step into someone's life and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to, figure out how we can budget and build a plan so that you can, change your life.
Okay. So what do you love most about the sales experience?
Really, and it's kind of funny because my father was a salesman, and my grandfather and his grandfather, so I come from a long line of salesmen. I just like it's a different, scenario every time somebody walks through the door. Even though I'm selling the same product, they have their own set of things that they want, their own set of objections, and just overcoming those objections. And, it's just a new it's something new every time somebody walks through the door. It's different.
So do you see a combination of that feeling and that scenario where basically you got to try to provide the solution to their issue, and they've all got different points of view, and you kind of love that wrestling. It's not a wrestling match, it's not the right way. You kind of like that tennis match of, let me see what they hit back at me. I'm going to fire a backhand this time, then I'm going to do a slice this time. Then I'm going to do a lob. You enjoy that. So do you see that coexisting with helping people with wealth management?
Yeah, that's exactly. And I feel like if, another part of it, why I feel that way is just because I'm helping people. I'm helping people find a great place to live now. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a leasing agent. So I feel like that will translate into, people, I'm helping them, and then they realize that they're going to be okay, that, they can worry a little less at night because, they have this plan. So
do you think you're on the right track?
I think so. I'm just a little nervous that, right now I want to make sure that the finance and the master's, the MBA, that's the correct path to go.
I don't know that you need an MBA.
Set me up.
I don't know that you need an MBA.
Okay.
But a master's in finance certainly can hurt if you can do it at the same time. But I don't know that it needs to be the MBA. But I think if the fact that you can do the master's and the bachelor's at about the same time, and I'm assuming you can do this without putting yourself in massive debt. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Yeah. So what's the best master's? What would be the most advantageous master's degree? That would be my question.
Right. And I've been asking myself that, for the past year and a half,
Well, so is an MBA better than what are the financial master's degrees? Pardon my lack of knowledge on this.
No, I don't really know either. It's, this is just something I haven't even applied for the combined pathway yet. That'll come in the springtime.
So do some research.
I'll figure that out.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
This is great. Here's what matters. You know what you want to do and why you want to do it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How confident are you right now?
Very.
Good. You started off the call not so confident, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think you're on the right path. Here's what matters. You want to basically be what we call a smart investor pro at Ramsey Solutions, right? That's what they are. They're financial advisors helping with retirement and wealth management and wealth growth. That's what you want to do. And it involves all those elements of what you love most about selling. So great news. You're good at it. You like it. So we check the talent box, check the passion box, and we look at mission, results that matter to you, check the box. You love helping people solve their financial problems and create a better future. It checks all the boxes. So how you get there, to me, that's easy to figure out. Because you don't even have to have a master's in anything to be a great financial advisor. I get two good friends. In fact, they were over at my house Sunday night. Both dudes, I was excited to introduce them to each other. They never met. Both of them very successful financial advisors. Will, do you think either one of them has a master's degree?
Probably not.
No, they don't. So if you want to get a master's and it's not going to put you in debt and you get it at the same time, good on you, man. Do you need it? No. So what I want you to do is, do you have a copy of my book, The Proximity Principle?
I do not.
Now you do. What format would you like most? Audio, hard copy, or ebook?
A hard copy would be great.
Boom. Here's the deal. I want you to hold on the line. Madison's going to get you a copy. She'll get you an autographed copy. I want you to read it. Because, Will, I wrote it for people who know where they want to go, but they're not quite sure how to get there. And this book, it's a #1 bestseller, so I can just tell you it's working. But it's basically from my life. It's my story. There's 5 people, 5 places, and then a section on practices. So 3 sections of the book, very easy to read. And the people that I introduce you to and the places I introduce you to, this is what you need to do. Walk the proximity principle out, read the book, do it. You're way ahead of the game, being a second-year student in college, figuring this out. And you're going to see that there's multiple ways to get to that ultimate dream of being a wealth manager. And you're going to do good things in this world, man. You're going to really help people achieve their dreams and make a massive impact. And I hope you go to bed tonight with a very full heart, young man. Really proud of you. The future is bright because of the wills of this world. And that's just simply the truth. You won't read that on any news website today. That the future is bright. You won't read that anywhere. But it is. My time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.